Life is too short, too precious, and too meaningful for you to waste it on folks who are playing games with your heart. They're subtle about it, acting like it's nothing, but you feel the impact deep inside. Today, we're going to talk about reclaiming your peace and protecting your heart. First of all, respect starts with you. When you tolerate mistreatment, you're sending the message that your feelings don't matter. But your feelings do matter more than anything else. The first step to respecting yourself is setting boundaries that protect your peace and your worth. Without boundaries, people will walk all over you, intentionally or not. You have to be clear about what you will and won't allow. When someone keeps crossing the line, it's your responsibility to stand firm. This isn't about being rude or confrontational. It's about showing others that you're serious about your well-being. People may not like it, but you're not here to please everyone. Some people will test your boundaries thinking you'll back down. Don't. The moment you give in, they know they can get away with disrespecting you again. You're not weak for standing up for yourself. You're wise. You're guarding the person who matters most, you. Think about it this way. If someone can't respect you, they don't deserve your time or energy. Relationships are built on mutual respect, not one-sided compromises. The longer you allow disrespect, the more it eats away at your confidence and peace. It's hard to say enough to someone you care about, but staying silent is worse. You deserve to be around people who uplift and value you. People who respect you will step up. Those who don't will step out. And that's exactly how it should be. When you set a boundary and stick to it, you're teaching people how to treat you. You're telling the world, this is how I expect to be treated, and nothing less will do. That's not selfish, it's self-care. If someone can't handle that, they're not your people. Never let anyone make you feel guilty for putting yourself first. It's not selfish to protect your heart. It's essential. The only people who will complain about your boundaries are the ones who benefited from you not having any. Remember that when it's time to say enough. When someone starts pulling back, pay attention. Silence isn't just the absence of words, it's a message in itself. It often speaks louder than anything they could say. If someone suddenly stops showing up for you or their energy shifts, don't ignore it. It's a sign that something has changed. Silence can be manipulative. Some people use it to make you feel unsure or guilty. They withdraw, hoping you'll chase after them. But let me tell you, if you're always the one running after someone, you're already losing. Relationships aren't meant to be games of cat and mouse. Think about how their silence makes you feel. If it leaves you anxious, questioning your worth, or overthinking every interaction, it's not healthy. That's a red flag, and you owe it to yourself to address it. You're not overreacting, you're noticing what they're trying to hide. Sometimes people use silence as a weapon. They know it affects you, and they wield it to control you. Don't let them. You have the power to take a step back and decide how much access they have to your emotions. Your feelings are not a toy for someone else to play with. If someone is too comfortable ignoring you, that's a problem. Relationships, whether friendships, family, or romantic, require communication and effort. Silence might feel passive, but it's an active choice to disengage. And if someone is choosing to disengage from you, you need to choose to disengage from them. Recognizing the power of silence also means recognizing your own. Sometimes the best response is no response. Walk away without explanations or arguments. Let your silence speak volumes about how much you value your peace over someone's games. People who value you will never use silence to manipulate or hurt you. They'll talk, explain, and try to make things right. But if someone's silence is their weapon of choice, it's time for you to take that weapon out of their hands by cutting them off. Your kindness is one of your greatest strengths, but not everyone sees it that way. Some people see kindness as an opportunity to take advantage. They'll test how much you'll give, how far you'll go, and how much you'll tolerate. And if you don't set boundaries, they'll keep pushing. Being kind doesn't mean you have to be a pushover. You can be kind and assertive at the same time. The strongest people are the ones who know how to say no with love and firmness. Kindness without boundaries is a setup for heartbreak. People who take advantage of your kindness aren't worth your time. They'll drain your energy, take everything you offer, and leave you feeling empty. The sad part is that they often don't even realize what they're doing, or worse, they don't care. Either way, it's not your job to fix them. When you start saying no, some people will act surprised, offended, or even angry. That's because they were benefiting from your lack of boundaries. Don't let their reaction make you doubt yourself. Saying no isn't unkindness necessary. Your kindness should be reserved for people who appreciate it, not those who exploit it. Surround yourself with people who give as much as they take. Real relationships are about balance, not one-sided effort. You shouldn't feel exhausted just from being around someone. Remember, being kind to others doesn't mean neglecting yourself. You can't pour from an empty cup. Take care of your needs first, and don't feel guilty about it. The right people will respect your limits and appreciate your kindness even more. Kindness is powerful, but only when it's paired with wisdom. Be kind, but don't be blind. When someone shows you they don't value your kindness, believe them the first time. Protect your heart and save your energy for people who truly deserve it. Have you ever noticed how someone's presence can either lift you or drag you down? That's because energy doesn't lie. Words can be manipulated, but the energy someone brings into your life is raw and unfiltered. Someone's energy feels off. Pay attention is telling you everything you need to know. When you're around people who truly care about you, their energy feels warm, encouraging, and safe. On the flip side, when someone is secretly playing with your feelings, their energy feels inconsistent. One moment they're all in, the next they're distant. That inconsistency creates confusion. And confusion is not love or respect. You don't need anyone to spell out their intentions when their energy is screaming the truth. If their actions make you feel small, insignificant, or uneasy, that's a sign. Your feelings are valid, and you should never ignore the discomfort someone's presence brings you. It's your intuition telling you something's wrong. Energy doesn't just affect your emotions, it affects your entire well-being. Negative energy can drain you physically, mentally, and spiritually. It can make you doubt yourself, lose focus, and even dim your light. Protecting your energy is not selfish, it's survival. You need it to thrive. You might find yourself giving people the benefit of the doubt, thinking they'll change or their energy will shift. But the truth is, energy rarely lies. When someone consistently brings you down, it's not your job to fix them. It's your job to distance yourself and protect your peace. Good energy aligns with actions. People who genuinely care about you will show it not just through their words, but through the energy they invest in your relationship. They won't make you feel drained or question your worth. They'll uplift and empower you. The best way to respond to negative energy is to remove yourself from it. You don't owe anyone an explanation for prioritizing your well-being. Your energy is your responsibility. And if someone keeps messing with it, the smartest thing you can do is cut them off and focus on people who reciprocate positivity. Your peace is the foundation of your happiness. If you let someone disrupt it, you're giving them control over your emotional stability. You have to treat your peace like a priceless treasure because it is. Without it, everything else in your life feels chaotic. Guarding your heart doesn't mean shutting people out entirely. It means being selective about who gets access to it. Not everyone deserves to know your vulnerabilities, your struggles, or your dreams. Some people only want to use that information against you, and you can't let them. You've probably heard the saying, not everyone is meant to go where you're going. That's especially true when it comes to your peace. Some people thrive on drama and chaos. They can't stand to see you calm and centered, so they'll do whatever they can to disrupt that balance. Recognize it early and cut them off. When you allow toxic people to stay in your life, you're letting them control how you feel. You start reacting to their negativity instead of focusing on your growth. The more energy you give them, the less energy you have for yourself and the people who truly care about you. Protecting your peace means learning to say no without guilt. It means walking away from conversations that drain you, relationships that hurt you, and situations that don't serve you. It's not easy, but it's necessary for your mental and emotional health. Your heart is too valuable to let just anyone play with it. When you guard your heart, you're not being cold, you're being wise. You're making sure that only those who genuinely care about you have the privilege of being close to you. That's not selfish, that's self-love. The people who deserve a place in your life will respect your peace and protect your heart just as much as you do. Those who don't, let them go. You're not losing anything by removing toxic people. You're gaining back your peace, your joy, and your freedom. When someone treats you poorly, it's easy to start making excuses for them. Maybe they're just busy. Maybe they didn't mean it that way. Maybe I'm overthinking. Stop right there. If you have to work that hard to justify someone's actions, something is off. Respect yourself enough to see it. People who care about you don't leave you guessing. They don't make you question their intentions or their feelings for you. If someone's behavior consistently makes you feel ignored, undervalued, or hurt, that's not love, it's neglect. Don't dress it up as something it's not. You might think, but they're a good person. Sure, they might be good in some ways, but good people still hurt others, intentionally or unintentionally. The question isn't whether they're good, it's whether they're good for you. If their actions hurt you, that's what matters. Excuses keep you trapped in unhealthy relationships. The more you excuse their behavior, the more they'll continue to push boundaries. Why would they change when you're telling them through your silence that what they're doing is okay? You can't expect respect if you're not demanding it. When you stop making excuses, you start seeing things. You realize that love and respect are shown through actions, not just words. If someone's actions consistently don't align with their words, that's all the clarity you need. Don't let your emotions cloud the truth. This doesn't mean you need to hold grudges or become bitter. It just means you have to accept reality for what it is, not what you wish it could be. Letting go of excuses allows you to make decisions based on facts, not fantasies. That's how you protect yourself. You're not doing anyone any favors by tolerating bad behavior. The more you let someone treat you poorly, the more you enable them. Cutting them off isn't just good for you. It's a wake-up call for them. Maybe losing access to you will be the push they need to grow up. Trust isn't built on grand gestures or occasional acts of kindness. It's built on consistency. When someone cares about you, they show it over and over again through their actions. If someone's behavior is hot one day and cold the next, it's a sign you can't rely on them. And trust without consistency is no trust at all. Consistency isn't about perfection. Everyone has bad days, but people who value you don't let bad days turn into patterns of mistreatment. They make an effort to show up for you, even when it's inconvenient. If someone can't maintain that effort, you have to ask yourself, why are you keeping them in your life? Inconsistent behavior keeps you on edge. It makes you second guess your worth and wonder what you did wrong. But let me tell you, this isn't about you. It's about them. Their inability to be consistent reflects their issues, not yours. Stop carrying the weight of their inconsistency on your shoulders. You can't build a healthy relationship on shaky ground. Inconsistency creates confusion, and confusion breeds insecurity. You deserve relationships that feel stable and secure, not ones that leave you questioning where you stand every other day. Life is hard enough without having to code someone's intentions. When someone is inconsistent, don't ignore it. Address it directly. If they care about you, they'll work to change. If they don't, their actions will speak louder than any excuses they give. And that's your cue to walk away. Cutting off inconsistency is an act of self-respect. Some people will try to gaslight you into thinking you're overreacting to their inconsistency. Don't let them. Your feelings are valid. If their behavior makes you feel uneasy, that's all the validation you need. Trust yourself to recognize what isn't good for you. Consistency isn't negotiable in any kind of relationship. It's the foundation of trust, respect, and love. If someone can't be consistent, they can't be trusted. And if they can't be trusted, they shouldn't have a place in your life. You deserve better than instability. People can say all the right things, but words without actions are meaningless. Someone telling you they care about you is easy. Showing it takes effort. Pay attention to what people do, not just what they say. Actions will always reveal the truth about their intentions. Empty promises and sweet words might sound nice, but they don't build lasting connections. Someone keeps saying they'll do better, but their behavior stays the same. They're not seriously the same. Don't get caught in the cycle of believing words that are never backed up by actions. When someone's actions don't align with their words, it creates a gap. That gap is where doubt, insecurity, and disappointment thrive. You start wondering if you're expecting too much, but the truth is you're just expecting honesty. And honesty isn't too much to ask for. People who truly care about you don't just talk about it, they show it. They make time for you, prioritize your feelings, and follow through on their promises. If someone's actions consistently fail to match their words, they're not showing you love or respect. They're showing you a lack of commitment. Don't let anyone tell you that you're being too demanding to expect consistency between words and actions. That's not a high standard, it's a basic one. People who value you will meet that standard without making you beg for it. Those who don't are showing you where you stand with them. It's easy to get swept up in someone's words, especially if you care about them. But love isn't about ignoring red flags. If someone's actions repeatedly let you down, it's a sign to reevaluate the relationship. You deserve more than empty promises and hollow words. Remember, actions always speak louder than words. If someone's actions are telling you they don't value you, believe them. Stop making excuses, stop waiting for them to change, and start prioritizing your peace. You're better off alone than with someone who can't show up for you. Time is one of the most valuable things you have, and once it's gone, you can't get it back. Every moment you spend on someone who doesn't value you is a moment you're taking away from your growth and happiness. You have to start seeing your time as sacred. When someone is playing with your feelings, they're not just wasting your emotions, they're wasting your time. And that's something you can't afford. Every minute you spend trying to figure out someone's mixed signals is a minute you could be investing in yourself or in people who truly care about you. Think about all the energy you've spent worrying about someone's intentions. What has it gotten you? Stress, confusion, and heartbreak. Is that how you want to keep spending your time? The answer should be no. Your time deserves to be spent on things and people that bring you joy and growth. Wasting your time on the wrong people also delays the arrival of the right ones. You can't open new doors while you're still holding on to old ones. One lead nowhere. Sometimes the best way to move forward is to let go of what's holding you back. People who value you won't waste your time. They'll make their intentions clear and consistent. They won't leave you guessing or doubting. If someone keeps stringing you along, it's because they don't respect your time. And if they don't respect your time, they don't respect you. Cutting off someone who wastes your time isn't about being cold or bitter. It's about valuing yourself. You have dreams to chase, goals to achieve, and a life to build. You don't have time to play games with people who don't see your worth. Every second you spend on a wrong person is a second you're stealing from your future. Stop giving away your time so freely. Treat it like the precious resource it is, and don't let anyone take it for granted. Your time is yours, spend it wisely. Boundaries are your lines in the sand. They define what you will not tolerate in your life. Without them, people will walk all over you, often without even realizing they're doing it. Setting boundaries isn't about pushing people away, it's about teaching them how to treat you. When someone is playing with your feelings, it's usually because you haven't enforced your boundaries. You might think they'll respect you on their own, but respect often comes when you demand it. If someone keeps crossing lines, it's because they believe they can. Boundaries stop that from happening. Establishing boundaries doesn't make you mean or unkind, it makes you strong. People who genuinely care about you will respect those boundaries because they value you. But those who are in your life for selfish reasons will resist. And that resistance is your red flag. Boundaries aren't just about telling people what you won't accept, they're about showing them through your actions. If someone oversteps and you let it slide, you're teaching them that your boundaries are flexible. Don't just talk about your boundaries and force them. Some people might try to make you feel guilty for setting boundaries. They'll call you difficult, selfish, or overly sensitive. Don't let their words sway you. Those reactions are just attempts to manipulate you into lowering your guard. Stand firm. Your peace is worth more than their opinions. You don't have to announce your boundaries to everyone, just live them. If someone's behavior doesn't align with your standards, distance yourself. Actions speak louder than explanations, and cutting someone off is often the clearest boundary you can set. Boundaries protect your time, energy, and emotions. They're not just about keeping toxic people out there, about keeping yourself in alignment with your values and self-worth. When you set and maintain strong boundaries, you send a powerful message. You value yourself too much to settle for less. Nothing is more powerful than self-respect. It's the foundation of every decision you make and every relationship you allow into your life. When you respect yourself, you stop tolerating anything that diminishes your worth. And that's when you truly take control of your life. Self-respect starts with knowing your value. You're not here to be someone's afterthought or backup plan. You're here to be cherished, valued, and respected. If someone isn't treating you that way, it's a reflection of them, not you. But it's your job to remove yourself from that dynamic. People who play with your feelings thrive on your insecurities. They rely on you doubting your worth so they can keep you hooked. But when you step into your self-respect, their power over you disappears. You see their actions for what they are, and you refuse to accept them. Self-respect means walking away even when it's hard. It means choosing your peace over their games, your happiness over their inconsistency. It's not always easy, especially if you care about the person. But staying in a situation that hurts you is far worse. You don't need anyone's validation to feel valuable. Your worth isn't determined by how someone treats you. It's determined by how you treat yourself. The moment you stop tolerating disrespect, you set a standard for how others must treat you. Walking away isn't about proving a point to them. It's about proving something to yourself. It's about showing yourself that you deserve better and that you're willing to do whatever it takes to protect your heart and peace. That's self-respect in action. When you respect yourself, the world takes notice. People begin to treat you differently because they see that you won't settle for less. And those who can't meet your standards will fall away, leaving space for those who can. Self-respect isn't just a boundary, it's a magnet for the right kind of people. Letting go of someone who plays with your feelings isn't just a choice, it's an act of liberation. Every time you choose to cut someone off who disrespects you, you're reclaiming your freedom. You're breaking free from the chains of doubt, confusion, and pain they've wrapped around you. Freedom starts in your mind. It begins the moment you realize you don't need their approval, attention, or validation to feel whole. You were complete before they came into your life, and you'll be complete after they're gone. Cutting them off is just you taking back what's always been yours. Some people will try to convince you that letting go is selfish or cruel. Don't buy into that lie. It's not selfish to protect your peace. It's survival. It's not cruel to prioritize your well-being. It's necessary. You can't pour into others if your cup is empty. Cutting someone off doesn't mean you hate them. It means you love yourself more. It's not about revenge or proving a point. It's about choosing yourself in a world that constantly asks you to choose others. It's about saying, I deserve better and refusing to settle for less. The hardest part about letting go is the fear of what comes next. You might worry about being alone or missing them, but what's scarier? A future where you're free and at peace, or a life where you're stuck in a cycle of pain and disrespect. Freedom is always worth the risk. When you cut off toxic people, you make room for the right ones. You open the door to relationships that uplift and inspire you. You create space for joy, growth, and love. You're not just losing someone who hurt you, you're gaining a life that heals you. Freedom isn't just about physical distance, it's about emotional release. It's about letting go of the anger, hurt, and disappointment they caused. Cutting them off isn't just the end of a relationship, it's the beginning of a new chapter where you prioritize yourself, your peace, and your happiness. Remember, you're not here to be someone's backup plan, emotional punching bag, or a convenience when it suits them. You're here to live fully, love deeply, and walk boldly in your purpose. And if someone is playing games with your heart, they're standing in the way of that purpose. Every moment you spend chasing clarity from someone who thrives on confusion is a moment you're stealing from yourself. Every ounce of energy you waste on people who can't decide if they value you is the energy you could be using to build the life you deserve. This isn't about being bitter or angry. It's about being wise and intentional with your time, your heart, and your life. When you cut someone off who plays with your feelings, you're not just walking away from them, you're walking toward yourself. You're stepping into a future where you are surrounded by love that's real, respect that's unwavering, and relationships that uplift you. You're clearing out the clutter to make space for peace, for joy, for everything you've been praying for. It's not easy to let go, especially when your heart is involved, but staying where you're not valued is far harder. The pain of cutting ties is temporary. The peace that follows is eternal. Don't let fear of the unknown keep you stuck in what's familiar but unhealthy. Trust yourself, trust your worth, and trust that God has better for you on the other side. You've got one life, and it's not a rehearsal. Don't waste another day giving your energy to people who can't even give you honesty. Stand tall, set your boundaries, and protect your heart. The right people will come into your life when you make room for them by letting go of the wrong ones. So take that step. Be bold enough to say, I deserve better, and strong enough to act on it. Because when you cut off the people who play with your feelings, you're not losing, they are. And trust me, one day, they'll realize what they lost. But by then, you'll be too far ahead living the life you've always deserved.